What's up, y'all? It is I, Mario Mijares, aka the Blu-ray Bodhisattva, aka the Salsa Shaman. Just wanted to share some thoughts, say a few things, because again, there's a lot of confusion and debates and arguments and dividing around astrology and true astrology and real astrology, and there's all these projected conspiracies about tropical astrology, which I don't know where they came from or who who started saying these things. And and it's interesting that we're in Sagittarius season, and right now we got a Mercury Sun Kazimi going on, Mercury retrograde, so it's also known as an inferior conjunction, when Mercury retrograde is crossing over the Sun, continuing to move in reverse behind the Sun. So we got that Mercury inferior conjunction, aka known as the Mercury Kazimi. And these two energies in Sagittarius, the Sun and Mercury, have recently made an opposition to Jupiter and Gemini, which Gemini is information gathering, communication, truths, network, and opposite Gemini, Sagittarius is it's this when we get to Sagittarius after Gemini, it's this progression of the information, right? So Gemini is enlightenment, it's information, it's ideas, it's thought, right? So for example, Gemini is I suddenly had this thought, this idea, this curiosity as to what would happen if I went out into the jungle, grab some roots over here, some herbs over here, and messed with it a little bit. I feel like there's some kind of energy trying to communicate to me, and I need to do something with these plants. I don't know, but I need to do something. And so that thought, that curiosity of information progresses into analysis. Okay, so now let's actually put into practice what you are theorizing. Let's put into practice what these concepts that you are having mean, and then that's when the seeking of information goes into Virgo. And Virgo is the energy that will go with Gemini into the jungle. And Virgo would be like, okay, so what plants are speaking to you? Oh, this plant, this root, that tree. Okay, so we'll gather it and let's figure out what we can do. Let's see what kind of fire we need. How long should things brew? What are the measurements to get things right? It's collecting the data. It's collecting the data and analyzing it to get the results, right? And lo and behold, after some time, after some trial and error, after some analysis and exploration of these thoughts, of these ideas, of this curiosity, which, by the way, both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by the planet Mercury, which Mercury is the planet of information, communication, data, analysis, intel, networking systems. So Gemini and Virgo, they go, okay, I think we've done it after many trials and errors and a lot of growth and expansion along the way, because we didn't know a lot of things about how this stuff works. We learned a lot along the way. We have come up with a potion. What is this potion? What should we call it? And then Gemini would be like, well, honestly, what's coming to my mind, what's speaking to me, is that the potion wants to be called ayahuasca. And Virgo's like, sure, whatever, ayahuasca then. we'll call it ayahuasca. And so then, now it's like, okay, we've created ayahuasca. Who wants to try it? Who are we gonna have try the ayahuasca? Who is going to experience? Because now we've progressed from Gemini, this enlightened thought. I have this thought. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's compelling me to do this. And Virgo's like, all right, I'm going to support you. Let's gather and go to the laboratory. And now that we have the creation of the information and the data, now it's time to experience it. And then we go into Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is that energy that's like, I'll try it. I'll try anything once. And so Sagittarius will be the one who's taking in the ayahuasca. And Gemini and Virgo are like, observing and watching Sagittarius to understand what they just created, what this means. And so Sagittarius is the one that literally gets to ascend his consciousness. So Sagittarius gets to ascend his consciousness to a higher realm and gets to meet with the gods, gets to meet with the celestial forces, gets to see through the veil, gets to go to a higher playing field, to Mount Olympus, and see it all. And through that experience of elevating the consciousness through ayahuasca, then Sagittarius now is able to receive an understanding of meaning and purpose. So now Sagittarius gets to be the one to channel to Gemini and Virgo what they just created and what this means for humanity. So while Sagittarius is high on an ayahuasca journey, Sagittarius is getting all philosophical. Sagittarius represents philosophy, opinions, religion, spirituality, world travel, ascension. So now Sagittarius is like, oh my God, now I understand the meaning to life. I understand the meaning to everything. The birds, the bees, the rivers, and the trees are all speaking to me. Particles moving within, without, as above, so below. Holy shit, I'm understanding it. Wow, this is what it all means. And let me tell you why we're all here. I get it now. The ancestors, the spirits, the beings, they are all around here, and it is all me and it is all you, and all of our suffering is just bullshit. So that's Sagittarius, right? But some of the negative parts about Sagittarian energy, so Sagittarius governs opinions, politics, religions, philosophy, higher learning, higher education that applies meaning and purpose. What do religions and politics and philosophies try to do? They try to associate meanings and purposes to things, to everything. And when we get into these realms, we can become the negative side of these realms of life is we can become zealous. We can become overly opinionated, biased, what's it called? Broad spectrum. We can overlook smaller details and become overly opinionated, overly generalizing on things. So when you have those hardcore Christians, hardcore Catholics, or extreme Republicans or extreme Democrats that are on their high horse arguing and debating about principles and purpose and meaning and philosophies, this is all the negative side of Sagittarius. And right now, as we have the Sun and Mercury and Sag opposing this Jupiter, it creates this effect where a form of people's consciousness in an unconscious way will have an effect on the mind, because remember, Mercury represents the mind. Thoughts have an effect of your thoughts, and the sun represents your consciousness, your conscious awareness. So whatever right now, whatever people are consciously aware of, what they are thinking of, it is highly possible for everyone to become overly righteous about your opinions that are based off of your perspective, that are based off of the perspectives gathered from the information you received, but received and filtered through your eyes, your thoughts, your beliefs. So we're in a period right now where a lot of people have biased opinions. They have confirmation biased information. They have a little bit of something over here to prove that their statement is correct over there and why everyone else is wrong about things. What's tricky and confusing about this time we're in right now is there's no energy in Virgo. And remember, Virgo is the facts. Without Virgo listening to Gemini's thoughts, the creation of ayahuasca would not happen, because we would not have been able to go out and gather the information, analyze the data to produce the results. So there's no Virgo right now. There's no Virgo energy. So there's no energy in the transits right now that are helping us stay rooted and grounded in the facts, in logic, in reasoning. So we have a concoction in the transits right now where it's all idealism, it's all ideas and projections, and a bigger, broader overgeneralization leading to strong opinions without knowing all the facts, So this is people going to act and behave and speak on things as if they know it all without really knowing it all. So it leaves for a lot of fucking endless debate. And because Mercury is retrograde, when Mercury is retrograde, it creates error for understanding, which means misunderstanding, miscommunication, and it's going to be hard to actually hit the target you're trying to speak on, and it's going to be even harder for people to receive the target that you're trying to speak on. So the thing that's really confusing about this is, as I said, there's no Virgo energy, but there's Saturn in Pisces. And Pisces is the last stage of this process of truth and information. Because I'm talking about the four mutable signs, where it begins with Gemini, right? I have this thought, I have this idea, I think we need to go out into the jungle and gather some plants and see what happens. And Virgo's like, I'll go with you, let's analyze, let's refine, let's produce results. Sagittarius is then like, I'll be the first to try it, I'm not afraid. And then Sagittarius experiences this and gets to be taken to this higher realm. The final stage of this is Pisces, the fourth mutable sign. And so where Sagittarius is then, on this euphoric trip and meeting with the gods, Pisces is like, okay, I want to try it too, but maybe I should try like 10 times more than Sagittarius. Let me try a lot more. So Pisces is that sign, is that energy that's like, I need a lot of that ayahuasca. Give me a lot of it. And now Pisces gets so lost in this energy. Pisces is the energy that gets so lost in the energy, so lost in the sauce, that they lose the boundaries that keep their ego identity separate from all of the other surrounding energies. And that is terrifying. That is overwhelming. And so Pisces loses itself in all of the energies and become terrifyingly overwhelmed of the formlessness of all of these energies, where in the third dimension we have boundaries, we have form, we have separation. And so the thing that makes it terrifying is when you are in these formless higher dimensional realms, is that manifestation is instant, and manifestation is a response of what is within your mind and within your heart. And if within your mind and within your heart is full of trauma, unhealed things, fantasies and delusions and distortions, then when you've taken that much ayahuasca, you're gonna have a bad trip. And the remedy to the bad trip, always the remedy to the bad trip, which is why Pisces also governs unconditional love, Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, and Pisces also governs suffering, martyrdom, sacrifice. So the reason why Pisces governs both these extreme dualities is because Pisces is the mechanism that allows you to transcend your suffering. So while Pisces takes 10 doses of ayahuasca and starts to trip because now they're in this experience of the delusional, distorted, and limiting belief systems embedded within their deep subconscious, within their deep unconscious, they have to do the work in spiritually cleansing themselves, and the remedy is going to be forgiveness. The remedy is going to be forgiveness, surrender, and unconditional love. And then that transcends the experience into the Christ conscious, into the Heros Gamos. So Saturn is in Pisces, and Saturn right now is forming a loose intersecting T square to the Sagittarius and the Gemini energy, to the Sun in Sagittarius, to Mercury in Sagittarius, and Jupiter in Gemini. So while we have the Sun and Mercury in Sagittarius that is going to elevate this phenomenon of people becoming overly self-righteous of their opinions, that is coming from a broad spectrum, overly generalizing and missing minute details, and not having all of the possible facts and data. And then with Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter is the exaggerator, hyperbole. So I'm going to speak very big, very broad about all of this. And here is why I think I am right. And so what makes it difficult is Saturn is intersecting this, which is going to challenge everyone and everything about what it is they are choosing to believe. It's a tricky place. And the purpose of it all, oh gosh, I'm not even going to get into that there. But I went way off course and I just channeled a lot of shit. But the thing that I wanted to say in regards to these opinions and stuff with astrology and sidereal astrology or true sky astrology is let me just tell you an example here real quick. I have on numerous accounts, I've literally witnessed people, heard people, and analyzed their train of thought work in this manner. They hear the word Western. They hear the word Western in Western astrology. And in today's woke agenda society, the agenda of the wokeness is to decolonize, right? Decolonize your mind, because Western European culture has colonized the whole world, right? So they've taken away from all original cultures and have colonized your mind to think and behave a certain way and to follow this certain order and to, pray and worship a certain god or organization. So you have a lot of people, a lot of young people, millennials and such, who haven't actually done any legitimate studying. There's just all this surface level superficiality of what they think they know. So when people hear Western astrology, I've literally have watched people express their thoughts in this way. Western astrology? Oh no. If you're listening Western astrology, or if you're practicing Western astrology, you need to decolonize your mind, because the Western world, and they go on this high horse thing talking about how Western astrology is this limiting structure. However, if you really care to know and understand tropical astrology, you know that by Western, it doesn't mean European, okay? Tropical astrology originates from very ancient times. Ancient Babylon, Mesopotamia, Sumeria, Egypt. Thousands of years before Jesus Christ. Thousands of years before astrology was practiced in Europe. So Western tropical astrology is very ancient and does not come or originate from a white European culture. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, is we have people that are they just know little bits and pieces, and then they overgeneralize with limiting understanding and formulate an idea and an opinion, and are then forcing and projecting it without even knowing things. And it's creating all of this fucking confusion about shit, about all the things. without these people even picking up a book. They're just hearing a word, right? And they're associating it. And so the same thing with like this whole true sky stuff. All of these people that I've seen videos, I've seen it in real time with people right next to me, right? They download the app, right? They ask me, so tell us what's in the stars today, and then I'll give them a little astrological forecast. And they have the sky map on their phone, and as I'm talking to them, they'll pull out the sky map and point it into the sky, and they'll be like, wait a minute, didn't you just say that Venus was in Leo right now and that it means this and that? Well, when I point my phone up to the sky, it's saying Venus is actually in Cancer, so explain that, because I'm having a hard time believing in this astrology stuff. And same thing on TikTok, on Instagram, on fucking YouTube. You got these people that are like on their high horse, right? And they're just like, Pluto is not in Aquarius. Pluto is not in Aquarius. See, when you look up in the sky, you see Pluto is actually in Capricorn, and so these are people who don't know astrology. They haven't studied tropical astrology, and they're just getting online, they're using a software, and they're pointing it up at the sky, and without having actual information, actual truth, actual data, are then formulating a broad spectrum, overgeneralizing opinion that is turning into conspiracy, and it's creating a lot of fucking confusion, y'all. And I'm not trying to say that there's no validity in sidereal or true sky astrology or whatever. I know that there's a lot of people that practice it and whatnot. However, I don't practice that. And I don't want to like say that it's not real and gaslight it like all these other people are trying to gaslight tropical astrology. I'm just trying to say, like, you don't know shit. So calm the fuck down with your opinions and learn something. Fuck. Anyways, I'm pulling up to work. I'm going to end it now. Peace, y'all.